Most of our children who are in our school-sponsored programs and then the children that are in the contact center, the funding that we bring in usually covers 100% of what their needs are. Now that's not to say as they get older and they get into 11th, 12th grade or college it's going to cover it, but by and large it covers it, and we don't need any additional funds. The two areas where we typically need, or 3 areas where we typically need quite a bit more funds are with the Children's Model High School kids, because the cost is really going up till $2,000 now. We don't want to raise the cost of that for sponsors. So what we would like to do instead is that the sponsors, we partner with you, and we think of alternative ways to where we can fundraise. We can raise just a little bit of extra money if the child, and some children are fully, they have all their funding met because they have 2 and 3 sponsors, or they have one sponsor that's able to do that. But by and large, that would be hard for anybody. So we often we have 31 out of 36 kids at Children's Model High School are underfunded. And sometimes it's a difference of $400, sometimes it's $600, sometimes it's $800, sometimes it's $1,200. It depends on the child. And so what we do is we fundraise through the events. And then the money, some of it goes to admin, some of it goes to special needs, which I'll mention in a minute, and then some of it goes to funding these underfunded kids. If I could work with you on an individual basis and we could just think of, okay, what are all of the really interesting ways we could come up with $400 more for this child? I would work with you individually and help you do it. And if we could do that together, then the money that we raise through the events can go to the scholarship fund. It can go to another real need this year that we're going to have, which is computers. At the schools, the schools are asking us for computers because the load shedding issue, and that if an average U.S. Nepali person makes $472 per year, they can't afford a computer at $300, $400, or $500. So we'd like to fund 6 computers this year for the children to gain access to so that they can compete. So I just want everyone here to just sort of think about it. And we have tools and at your disposal that I can help you, and we can get together and brainstorm. We have all sorts of different ways, and some of the sponsors that I've talked to are starting to do that. Huey and Arlene, they're not actually here right now, but they are a longtime sponsor of Bijaya, and they had a Valentine's Day party, and they just had friends over, and they said, hey, we'll supply the food and the drinks, come over for our Valentine's party, and then make a donation to Mitrata. And that simple party that was just, they just sent an email out to their friends and family. They brought in over $800 from that party, and their child is fully funded. And they didn't have to give more. They just decided that's how I want to do it. And it doesn't have to be that way. It could be maybe you have someone, maybe you've heard of a foundation or something. I could write the grant to that person's foundation. We could ask for a little bit more money. We have one family that does it through a Girl Scout troop. We have another family, Tony. I could use Tony. Tony's done it twice. She donated her birthday, and so everyone that made gifts to her birthday, it came to Pawan, and we earmarked the money specifically for that child. And now Tony, we have a new system. One of the things that I did last year was I wanted us to have a database. I wanted us to have a place other than a Word file or an Excel file where we could track the kids, and we could figure out what's going on with them, and we could make connections. And so we bought this basic database with nothing in it at $30 a month, and I basically built it, and now we're all using it. The database has an ability to create a page, and then you can create a page for your child, and then you could send an email out to your friends and family, has a thermometer, and you can say, hey, give $10 or $20 or something. It's amazing how quickly that increases, and then that money is specifically earmarked. Or maybe you have a child that's already fully funded for whatever reason. You fully funded them, or we found, we have 2 or 3 different sponsors. then maybe you would think, well, I'd really like to get extra protein for the contact center, or I would really like to raise funds for a computer for one of the schools. It's entirely possible, and I work directly with you. I volunteer my time, and we will sit down, figure out a game plan. I'll hang out with you the whole way, and we'll see if we can come up with that little bit of extra money. So I'm just asking sponsors to sort of think about that, because if we were able to fund each child through sponsorship or alternative kind of fun fundraising ideas, then the money that comes in from the events can go to all of the forward-thinking things that we have to start thinking about, which are kids going to college, and all of the other infrastructure needs like computers and protein and everything that we need over there. Or my gosh, I would love it, a little fund for inflation, just to cover have our inflation fund. So it's a bunch of different options that, anything you can think of, and I've got loads of ideas. So if you're interested at all in talking about it, we could sit down for coffee and start working out a game plan. So do you want to thank you? So I talked a little bit about fundraisers. That can be as simple as having, like Huey and Arlene, having a party, or it can be as simple as you just inviting some friends over to your house. Maybe you have a book club. Maybe you have a spiritual group. Maybe you have an investment group. I myself am in other clubs, and so I'm always trying to think about who could I present to. And again, we do all the work. We come, and there's always one of the board members, myself. We come, we host it at your house, your book club, your spiritual group, your whatever. We will come bringing slides. We will talk about Mitrata and see if there's anybody interested in starting to give. The sponsorship committee has put together a little packet of info on a fundraiser, like how to do it, what are the steps, and we support you, and we do the heavy lifting. So if you think about the organizations you're involved in, and you would be open to this, or you would just like to talk about your experiences, we will come and cheerlead for you. So, next one. This is the website that I was mentioning. Tony is working on a page right now. It's not finished yet. It's almost done. So it's just a simple, we use it for our Climb for Himalayan Children. It's the same type of idea, but each person creates, and I actually create it, so it's not like it's on you to create, but it's just a simple one page. You put a message out there about why you want to raise what you want to raise, and it could be for your sponsored child, it could be for something totally different, as I mentioned.
And then we can just send a link to people?
Exactly. You can put it on Facebook, you can put it on Twitter, you can send it by email, you can, however you would like to do it, and you can put a goal. I'd like to raise $200, I'd like to raise $1,000, I'd like to raise $400, whatever you want to do. And it tracks all of it, and it does it automatically. So you don't have to send thank you notes, you don't have to do any of that. They automatically, I've built it, and they just automatically get their tax donation letter by email. It's really easy. But again, if that's something you're interested in, email me. You all have got a million emails from me, I'm sure. Email me and we can chat about it and come up with an idea. Or it could be something totally different. If you wanted to do a walk or a hike or a bicycle ride, there's all sorts of things you can do. Oh, did I put that in twice? I must have put that in twice.
Oh, yep.
So we talked about the scholarship fund. We have a few sponsors that they give a little bit extra over their sponsor. And I always talk with them and I say, okay, what would you like it to go to? Do you want it to be earmarked for their future scholarship needs? And some sponsors say, you know what, no I don't, because my kid is not going to be in college for 6 more years. So I want it to go to another child that's under-sponsored. And so we can move the money and earmark it the way that you want us to. So it's just something to think about. If you have a particular year where you go, gosh, I want to send an extra $100, but I want to put it for their scholarship fund, it will be restricted in our accounting. It will be restricted for that child until that child needs it. And you would be able to see the reporting on that in our annual report. Okay, so I just wanted to make a comment about that. College, on average, is $2,000 USD, and that's tuition and room and board, but on average about 2,000 USD. Now, if a child like Sudan who wants to go into medicine, it's probably going to be in that 2,500 to 3,000. But if they want to go into like hotel management, it may be 1,500. So it just kind of depends on what they want to study.
That's per year.
Per year, and in
Okay.
comparison to anywhere else in the world.
Are they mostly 4-year programs?
Some are 3 year, some are 4 year. It just depends on
Now
what
is-
the study is.
Now, is that starting at 11th and 12th grade, or is that starting at 13th and?
Starts at 13. They have to, after they finish 11th, 12th grade, then they take another exam, and then they take the exam to enter into college. And there's also, you know, there's vocational tracks as well. It's not, we really do work with the child directly and also with their parent or guardian. It's up to them what they would really like to study. For instance, Anita's in nursing. She couldn't find a program in nursing in Kathmandu, so she actually spoke to Christine, we have it on tape, and she said, I'll go to agriculture school because, you know, we, Mitrata, could afford it. You can, if you guys could just do agriculture school, I would be so grateful for agricultural school. And Christine said, no, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to be a nurse. That's what I want to go. And Christine, well, you're going to be a nurse then. And so we talked with, and I know it's hard. We try to establish specific dates, and we have them on the magnets of when the letters are due. So the children, I can't stress enough, because I was there, I saw what the kids do. The children, they live for these letters, and if we have to hand them, sometimes we have to hand them out in groups, and if one child gets a letter and then another child doesn't get a letter, it's sometimes hard. The sponsorship committee gets together ahead of time, and if for some reason somebody's out of town or someone's sick and they couldn't get the letter to us, then we do write a card. But these children live for these letters, and oftentimes the letters are kept underneath their pillows, they're kept underneath their mattresses, because they don't really have like their own rooms and personal possessions and things like that. At Children's Model High School, every child has a locker box. It's about this big, about that wide, and about that tall, and that's where all their personal effects are in. And then they can decorate kind of around their bed and the bunk bed and such. But these letters and little things that you send are treasured possessions. They are very important. So just remember that that the dates come up, and if you ever have a question about the dates, you can email myself or Nancy about that. The other thing I wanted to mention, just wanted to reiterate, I know that it's hard. If I were sponsoring a child there, I would want to send 6 books, and I would want to send an outfit and a Barbie doll and every other thing that I could think of there, but we just can't do it. It costs on average $400 to $600 to send a box of letters. And that is a child. That's a child and a half in our school sponsored program. So we have to really be careful of that. And so when we get a little militant about that, it's not because we don't appreciate it. It's because the other thing is that if it's too enticing of a box or it's too large of a box, it may not make it there altogether. It may be beat up. It may be torn into. Any number of things can happen. So we mail one box, and then Christine takes one box. So and then she's got to pay she's got to pay all of the other things that come with that.
Well, and this year, this April, this is when we're gonna be mailing them. So I do encourage you to just write a letter this time. When we went in November, we packed almost half a suitcase full of letters. So we try to take them when we can, but I don't know that anybody's going in April, so.
Do some of the kids use email and
So
communicate with them that way?
yes, we have been very careful about that because of working with children there. So we typically are very careful about that until 10th grade. And then after 10th grade, if the child can get access to a computer and can have an email, then we encourage it. So, and then just kind of keep us in the loop. If there's something that they say to you that they're concerned about or worried, or maybe they haven't said to us or vice versa, just keep us in the loop. But absolutely.
Well, and if you have an older child who's 10th grade and above, some of them are on Facebook.
Yes.
So if you can search for them, my child Navin is on Facebook.
In
We just
English or
became
Nepali?
Facebook. In English.
Our-
Most of them
yeah.
are English.
Yeah, they communicate in both.
Yeah.
We try to give a little, what we can, a little thank you gift every year. And so this year it was Sandra's idea. Yay, Sandra. We made magnets, and the magnets are right there. They list the times in which the letters are due and our upcoming events, so you can stick it on your fridge. It's great. Yeah, it's great. So Ambrose Bittner, who runs a company called Red Lantern Journeys, and he does customizable trips all across Asia, mostly Southern Asia. He's an amazing man, and he has this climb for us of Mount Rainier in Seattle every year. This is, I think, the 6th or the 7th year.
Yeah.
And you go with licensed guides there, and you climb up, to your base camp. Mount Rainier is about a little over 14,000 feet. And then you make a summit bid, and each person that climbs raises money. They establish a page, they fundraise for the year, and then their way is free, and they just have to fundraise. I mean, Ambrose has lots of friends there. We try to help you out as much as possible. But you pay your own airfare, and then you go and do it. Typically, it's been for people that wanted to summit, but this year we have a Sherpa opportunity, which is a hiking portion. And so now it's like if anybody's interested in hiking up to a portion of Mount Rainier and just being with a group and having some fun, that's an option now. But I'm going to try to do it again. So I'm going in July. Christine's going to come and potentially do the hiking portion.
The hiking part.
We're going to start
I'm hoping
training.
for our St. Louis contingency of Sherpas.
Yes.
That's what I'm hoping.
Come with us.
Connie's going.
Come with
Connie's
us.
going.
We're gonna do
Connie's-
a little hike. It'll be really fun.
Connie's talking to her hiking group. So if you know of anybody that's always wanted to do that, it's a great deal. And for those individuals that do want to pay some portion of it themselves, a portion of it is tax deductible. So it's a great way to do it this way versus actually paying a for-profit company to go up. So if anybody has any interest wants to go to Seattle, we also have a little cocktail party ahead of time. Even if you're just in Seattle visiting and you want to stop by and meet other Mitrata people there, it's a really wonderful time. It's a great weekend. So, and then the concerts.
Yes.
And some of you have been to the concert, I think.
It was
Yeah.
great
Yes.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Old Rock House has been fantastic. They're donating the space to us this year. The only difference is that there'll be a cash bar, so that they can make money through the beverage sales and things like that. But they're not charging us. They're going to staff it for us. They're letting us bring our own Nepali snacks in. They're being so fantastic. And we're going to have 2 bands play. There's going to be dancing. There's a dedicated dance floor. It's going to be just a party. It's going to be a lot of fun. Individuals can come, tables can come. There'll be sponsorship opportunities. There'll be a VIP area. It'll be a really
It'll
nice
be a big
party.
gala event.
Yes. Yes.
Dance and a party.
Old Rock House is down the 7th, right, Jim?
Yeah, it's right down by
Seven
the
and,
baseball.
It's south of the
Yeah.
stadium, north of I-44.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
You can get right off if you're going north on 55. It's just you get off.
Get off
It's
the
right
park
there.
avenue and up south.
Under the
and
bridge,
there.
you're there.
That's great.
It's
It's
going to
gonna be
be
a great event.
really fun. It's probably going to be a couple of different. One exists. I was shocked to learn it, but that one of our many friends, Nepali friends that lives here in St. Louis, has like a Nepali punk band, and I'm not quite sure what that's going to be like, but we're going to try it. So
And then we have Dawn. Right?
yeah, and we have Don
Don
Weber. So if you remember, Don Weber was the trumpist with the shocking pink hair that's so fantastic. Dawn is the leader of a number of different bands, and Dawn is donating a lot of her services, and she's going to bring one of her bands. I'm not quite sure yet it's going to be the funky band or the fusion or the swing, but she's going to bring a band, and so she's going to be the lead. We're going to have this Nepali punk band. I can't even hardly say it without laughing.
Stephanie and I saw them. They were very good.
Yes, no, you said they got
That would
people
be
up,
great.
and it was.
They packed the dance floor.
Yep. Good.
So we're going to try it. It's going to be really fun. And if you went to the concert before, you know that we've put a lot of effort into it. We try really hard. It should be really good. And it'll be some good food. We're gonna start a little later, a little dessert, little snacks and such, and just come, bring friends. It's gonna be great.
Is this gonna be a charge at the door sort of thing?
Yeah, we haven't
Anybody
settled
can
on the
come?
price. Anybody can do it, and we'll do a lot of press, hopefully. You know, last year we got picked up by the Webster Kirkwood Times. We got picked up by the Western Word.
Radio.
The radio. We were on KDHX, not KDHX, KWMU. So there was a lot of interest last year, but the issue was, I think for some people, is that it was out in Chesterfield, and so it was more difficult for them to attend. It'll probably be around $30 a ticket, but we haven't really settled yet on a price. It'll be very, very reasonable. And then there'll be sponsorships. A great deal, 50% of the income that comes up from our generous, like the people that say, you know what, I want to sponsor at $100, $250, $500, $1,000, and they get a bunch of tickets in exchange for it, and a lot of recognition and things like that. But a lot of our income comes from the sponsorships, and we are very grateful for it.
And the sponsorship really allows us to do the event,
Yeah.
and then we make money off of the tickets. 'Cause
Yes.
We have to cover costs, and there will be some
And
costs.
Our costs are low. They're
They're
about
low.
$3,000 to $4,000 to put on the event, which anybody that's ever put on an event knows that that's not a whole lot of money. We are very careful about the costs, and for us, we have to really think about it. If we're going to outlay $3,000, you know, that's 2.5 kids that could attend children's model high school, or that's 7, 8 kids that could attend the school program. So we have to be really thoughtful about it before we entertain something like this, because we never want to not cover that. The loss is just devastating. So
So hold the date, October 19th,
yes, on the magnet.
on the magnet.
Yes. Do you want to chat?
Yes, I'm planning to go back to Nepal again in late October. I'm probably going to put out the more exact dates in the next couple of weeks. Again, I'll probably structure it so that you can come for 2 weeks, because most people can't come longer than that, even though I'm going to probably be there longer. But 2 weeks fits nicely for most people if they're taking the trip. So, and if you're interested in going, you can contact me. I try to plan it so that everybody gets what they want out of the trip, and we have some fun, and we spend time with the kids, and we do cultural things. And, there's several people here
Who
who've been
all's been
on
here?
these trips.
Who's all done the trip?
So
Yeah.
we had a blast. We had so much fun.
Yes.
They were really fun.
And it's generally about $3,000. So just so you, in
It's
terms
more
of a
than range.
budgeting perspective, you'll spend more on airfare than you will spend there. So just from a budgeting, that's about what
And
it
I
is.
think being able to meet your child is pretty, most people, it's pretty intense and pretty special. And it links you in a way that's just really from the heart. So if you can get a chance to come and actually meet your child, I think that's the best part of it.
Yeah, let me just say a couple things about that. One of the things we're trying to do with Mitrata is to really get a link between you and your child, to make it very, very personal. And having been there myself, I have found it to be meeting the children, and then this time we met some of the families. It just opened up a whole world to me in terms of really thinking about they're half a world away, but they're people with stories, with personalities, with needs and cares and concerns, just like all of us. And to get to know that about them is very, very powerful. And we really want, in the sponsor committee, we want to forge that link between you and your child. If there is ever a question you have about your child, let me know, let Christine know, let Alexis know. We're trying to get more and more information coming from Nepal and getting more success at that. It's very difficult for all the reasons we've talked about. But we are trying to get more information, and we want to give you as much information as we can so that you can feel like you really know the child that you're helping, because you really are helping them.